What's going on, boys and girls, and welcome back to Nth Level Entertainment, the most awesome geek and car culture YouTube channel in South Africa. I am your host, Uzwele Tumatlangu. Yes, you heard that right. My brother is sitting in on this session today, and I know it's been a while. My apologies, guys. There's a lot that's been going on, but I thought I'd pick up the review game with Superman and Lois, episode 10. This was a pretty cool one. The show in general has actually been surprisingly good for a CW show. Shows like Arrow are the ones that actually kicked off the whole universe. It started very gritty and grimy and all of that. And then The Flash joined in and the universe expanded with Supergirl and The Legends of Tomorrow. What a lot of people came to expect from the CW was something that was very sort of like glossy and campy. It started, moving a lot further away from its gritty roots. And I feel like Superman and Lois is kind of bringing that back now. Because the production quality and the cinematography and even the writing of the show is actually at a level that would actually deserve to be in the movies. I mean, it's very akin to watching Man of Steel on television, and I gotta say that Tyler Hoechlin is actually doing a fantastic job playing a television Superman. It feels a lot like watching something Henry Cavill-esque but on a weekly episodic level on television. So in this episode, things started to sort of become unraveled as far as what the main plot is. We finally know who Morgan Edge is now. Apparently he's Superman's illegitimate brother. I'm not so sure how I feel about that because it's a huge retcon, and I get the sense that this is a character that was created specifically for the television show. It's possible that they were just avoiding the trope of doing General Zod again, because that's been done recently in Man of Steel. I think it was also done in Smallville as well, even though Smallville was a while back, but it was done there too. So I think they were trying to avoid treading old water, but it wasn't, the story was pretty good. I just feel they could have written something better as far as introducing a character that's actually from the comics and then tying him into what's going on in the show itself. I really enjoyed the reveals of John Henry Irons being the alternate Lex, and how they actually retconned the fact that the suit was only calling him Captain Luthor because they hadn't yet calibrated the AI correctly to identify him. So it was a nice way for them to hide that twist that they eventually showed in the end. So now we see that Clark's illegitimate brother, I think his name, I forget what it is, but his parents, one of them are Zeta Rao, I think, and his name was Tal Rao or something along those lines. I'll put on the text on the screen in post just to correct myself. But his plan was basically to resurrect Krypton, by putting Kryptonian consciousnesses into people that reside in Smallville, because they turned out to be the most sort of accepting hosts because of the time that they've spent around X-Kryptonite, which is the mineral that they've been using as a conduit to actually put these consciousnesses into human hosts. And it was revealed as well that Kal-El's mother, Lara, was the one who actually created the Eradicator technology. There was a cool Easter egg for any of you who have read The Death of Superman. The Eradicator was actually a character in that story who was one of the 4 Supermen that came back in the Reign of the Superman stories when Superman was supposedly dead. And he was a Kryptonian AI that was tasked with the job of actually protecting Superman during his rebirth. So he was basically like a Kryptonian security system, but similar to what Brainiac is in terms of being an artificial intelligence. So it was a cool show. We also saw Lois get into some action, and when she went to go and check out what's going on with Kyle, when they knew that he had been possessed by a Kryptonian, and she basically knocked him out with a crypto fist, if you can call it that. She had Kryptonite in her hand, which weakened him. So it's one of those fun ways in which they stay true to what the name of the show is. There's writing that's actually done well enough for both of the characters to be showcased in a meaningful way that doesn't feel forced. It feels organic to what the story goes like, and the way that they actually tie everything up towards the end of the episodes, where all the stories run their course and they get to their eventual crescendos, is always well orchestrated. The show ends with an awesome showdown between Superman and all of the other Kryptonians, when Morgan Edge, or his half-brother, finally calls him out for a confrontation. And they've now learned how to actually reverse the process using by Lana actually offering herself as a host for Kal-El's mother, Lara, who then comes to life and explains how to do the whole thing. And there's an orb that needs to be powered by something much more powerful than Earth's sun. Again, ignore the yawn. That's my brother on the bed there. So we see him actually sort of like lead them away, and they fly and they follow him and all that. He's got the orb in his hands, and as they all try to heat vision him, he ends up actually directing the heat vision to the orb itself and adds his own heat vision. And he does what they call, since the New 52, a solar flare, which then he eventually becomes enough of a power source to actually activate the orb and reverse the rebirth process that Morgan Edge has been using. So it was a fantastic episode. You know, I'm always enjoying the scenes where they have Superman on screen outside of the family stuff. You know, you would think that the family stuff would be too much of a part of the actual show that takes away from the comic book aspects of the show itself. But it's so well written in and of itself and realistic that you actually don't feel cheated. And when we jump back to the Superman stuff, you know, all the visuals, all the action, it's so well done, and it's so, you know, like you can see how much intention and attention to detail has been paid to it, that you don't feel cheated in terms of watching a Superman show. And one of the other reasons I love it is that, you know, we finally have a Superman show that's done well on television. So yeah, apparently we've got about 5 episodes left, and I can't wait to see what's going on there. And I will do my best to be consistent, unlike previously. I will be explaining exactly what's going on in an upcoming video of projects I get to that I've already started filming, as to the details of what's been happening in the last month or so. But otherwise, that's going to be it from you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've seen this episode and what you thought of it. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like by clicking on the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. And be sure to ring that bell icon so you are notified each and every time I drop new content on this here channel. As usual, people, I've been Zwelethwa Mahlangu, and I urge you, as always, to take care of each other, stay awesome, and stay chasing your dreams to infinity and beyond.